Afghanistan is one of the most underdeveloped countries in the world. In this country, women's freedom is severely restricted. They are forbidden to work, and they cannot go out alone or speak in public. In addition, when women go out, they must cover their bodies and faces from head to toe. They can only see the road through a small piece of mesh fabric. They are punished if they are not properly dressed. Afghanistan is also known as the graveyard of empires. This statement can be traced back to the 3 British invasions of Afghanistan in the 19th century. Later, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979. The Soviet Union withdrew its troops after 10 years of hard fighting, and soon after, the Soviet Union itself disintegrated. In 2001, the United States launched the Afghan War. In 2021, the United States also completely withdrew its troops. Therefore, this title, the Graveyard of Empires, became even more prominent. It has become a phrase often repeated by global media and scholars. Afghanistan was once the world's largest opium-producing country, accounting for more than 90% of global opium production. After the Taliban came to power, they introduced a series of measures, such as banning opium cultivation and forcing inhabitants to quit drugs. So what kind of country is Afghanistan? Today we will learn about this country together. Afghanistan is located in the western part of Asia. It is a landlocked country. It borders Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan to the north, China to the east, Pakistan to the south and east, and Iran to the west. It is known as the crossroads of Asia. The country's total land area is about 647,000 square kilometers. From the map, it looks like the heart of Asia. It connects regions in all directions. However, as a landlocked country, Afghanistan does not have direct access to the ocean. This limits its foreign trade and economic development to some extent. But it is precisely this inland location that has made Afghanistan a strategic focal point in the history of empires. The terrain and landscape of Afghanistan are extremely unique. Mountains and highlands occupy about 4/5 of the country's area. The land slopes from the northeast to the southwest. The Hindu Kush Mountains in the capital region stretch like a giant dragon. From the Pamir Plateau in the northeast to the southwest, the Hindu Kush Mountains run across Afghanistan. The country is divided into northern and southern parts by these ranges. Between the Pamir Plateau in the northeast and the northern part of the Hindu Kush lies the mysterious walking corridor. This corridor is not simple. It is located at the crossroads of China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Tajikistan. Its strategic significance is extraordinary. It once served as an important route of the ancient Silk Road. Countless merchants, envoys, and explorers left their footprints here, witnessing exchanges and clashes between civilizations. Afghanistan has a long history. Its prehistoric civilization can be traced back to around 200,000 years ago, when early humans were already active on this land. The Achaemenid Persian Empire was among the earliest major powers to control this region in the 6th century BC. Since then, Afghanistan has experienced a long history of conquests and foreign rule. The Achaemenid Empire first incorporated it into its territory. After the fall of that empire, Afghanistan was divided into several regions under different rulers. At the same time, ancient religions began to spread and became dominant. In the 4th century BC, the armies of Alexander the Great swept across the Eurasian continent, and Afghanistan was incorporated into his vast empire. However, Alexander's rule did not last long. After his death, his empire was divided into several parts. Afghanistan was later ruled successively by the Greco-Bactrian Kingdom, the Mauryan Empire of ancient India, the Umayyad Caliphate, the Abbasid Caliphate, and the Mongol Empire. In 1747, Ahmad Shah Durrani unified the country and founded the Durrani Empire, marking the beginning of modern Afghanistan. However, in the 19th century, Afghanistan's power gradually declined, and it became a battleground between the British Empire and the Russian Empire. The two great powers fought fiercely here. In 1919, the Afghan people finally gained independence from British control. But after independence, Afghanistan did not enjoy lasting peace. In the late 20th century, the country faced another invasion, this time by the Soviet Union. In 1979, under the pretext of supporting the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, the Soviet Union sent troops, triggering a decade-long war. The Soviets spent enormous manpower and resources in this war and finally withdrew in 1989. In 1994, the Taliban movement emerged in Afghanistan. They quickly expanded and gained control. In September 1996, they captured Kabul and established their regime. In 1997, they renamed the country the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Under Taliban rule, Islamic law was strictly enforced. In 2001, after the shocking 9/11 terrorist attacks in the United States, the U.S. government accused the Taliban of sheltering al-Qaeda and launched the Afghan War, toppling the Taliban regime. Since then, Afghanistan began a difficult process of reconstruction with support from the United States and other Western nations, establishing a new political system, holding several elections, and striving for peace and stability. But the path to peace in Afghanistan has not been smooth. The Taliban and other armed groups remained active, continuing to launch attacks that caused significant casualties and destruction. In 2021, U.S. and Western forces withdrew from Afghanistan. The Taliban quickly regained control of most of the country and re-established their regime. Once again, Afghanistan's history turned a new page, but its future remains uncertain. Throughout its long history, Afghanistan has absorbed influences from many cultures, forming a diverse and unique cultural identity. Islam is the state religion, with over 99% of the population adhering to it, around 80% Sunni and 20% Shia. Religion plays an important role in everyday life. Mosques are found throughout the country, and people pray daily. Afghanistan's population is around 35.7 million, comprising multiple ethnic groups. The major ones are the Pashtun and Tajiks, followed by Hazaras, Uzbeks, Turkmens, and more than 20 smaller minorities. Pashto and Dari are the official languages. Other languages include Uzbek, Balochi, and Turkmen. Afghanistan remains one of the least developed countries in the world. More than 4 decades of war have devastated its economy. Transportation, communication, health, industry, education, and agriculture have all been severely damaged, making recovery difficult. According to statistics, more than 6 million people have become refugees, losing their homes and livelihoods, struggling for survival. In 2023, Afghanistan's GDP reached about $17.23 billion US, with a growth rate of 2.7%. The GDP per capita was only $493 US. These figures highlight the fragile and underdeveloped nature of Afghanistan's economy. Agriculture is the main pillar of its economy. About 80% of Afghans depend on agriculture for their livelihood. However, agriculture faces major challenges. Only less than 10% of the country's total land area is arable. Decades of war have severely damaged irrigation systems, agricultural infrastructure, and technology, resulting in low productivity. Afghanistan's industrial base is also weak. The limited industries include textiles, fertilizers, cement, leather, carpets, and food processing. Recently, construction growth in Kabul and other cities has somewhat boosted related industries like timber, but the overall industrial level remains low. Afghanistan's main export products are carpets, dried fruits, and gemstones. Major imports include food, motor vehicles, petroleum products, and textiles. Due to years of conflict and instability, Afghanistan ranks among the lowest in global economic standings, facing enormous challenges to recovery. The Taliban-led armed forces now form the main military strength of Afghanistan. Most Taliban fighters come from rural areas. They are known for their strong faith and loyalty to their country. Through prolonged conflict with U.S. and former Afghan government forces, the Taliban have gained extensive combat experience. Although their equipment is relatively basic, mostly light weapons, they have achieved a series of victories using flexible tactics and determination. Now the Taliban have formed an interim government in Afghanistan. They face the task of rebuilding national defense. On one hand, they need to strengthen training to improve the quality and combat readiness of their forces. On the other hand, they aim to acquire advanced equipment to enhance defense capability. Afghanistan has a typical continental climate, dry, with distinct seasonal differences. Summers are hot and winters are cold. Being landlocked and far from the sea, the country receives little moisture from maritime air masses. As a result, rainfall is scarce, averaging about 240 millimeters annually. Afghanistan, a land full of mystery, remains a captivating destination for adventurous travelers. Despite years of war, it still preserves remarkable natural and cultural sites. The country is blessed with majestic mountains, vast deserts, and serene lakes. The spectacular views of the Hindu Kush range are awe-inspiring. In the deserts, red sand dunes shimmer under sunlight, revealing nature's raw beauty. Culturally, Afghanistan boasts many historic landmarks. The Bamiyan Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracts countless visitors. The Minaret of Jam, one of Afghanistan's most iconic monuments, was built in the 12th century and stands 65 meters tall, beautifully decorated with intricate brickwork and inscriptions, a testament to Afghanistan's ancient architectural skill. The Bamiyan Valley was once a major center of Buddhism and home to the famous Bamiyan Buddhas. Although the statues were tragically destroyed during past conflicts, the site still reflects the once thriving Buddhist heritage of Afghanistan. Traditional Afghan bazaars are also worth exploring. In the markets of Kabul, Kandahar, and other cities, visitors can find handmade crafts, traditional clothing, and local delicacies, immersing themselves in Afghanistan's vibrant culture. However, due to the country's unstable situation, travelers must carefully consider safety when visiting. Compared with the world's major tourist destinations, Afghanistan's tourism infrastructure and services still need significant improvement. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked my video, please don't forget to like and follow. See you in the next video.